Welcome and thank you for joining us in this launch video. I'm excited to take you through the key concepts and tools featured in the Red Plus Academy Learning Journal on Forest Carbon Markets. The journal was developed to support countries in accessing carbon markets as a key mechanism for mobilizing climate finance for forests. While it's primarily designed for government practitioners, it also serves as a valuable resource for project developers, technical advisors, donors, civil society, and the private sector. In this session, we will introduce the Learning Journal on Forest Carbon Markets, walk you through its main context and key concepts, and encourage its practical use. The journal begins by defining both market and non-market approaches that are important for the forest sector as key pathways for accessing climate finance. On the non-market side, it highlights transactions that allow for payment of a greenhouse emission reduction or carbon removal achieved without the transfer of the ownership or title, and that are largely driven by the public sector. These include initiatives such as the one of the Green Climate Fund or the World Bank. On the market-based side, this refers to any approach that allows the transfer of the ownership or title of a greenhouse gas emission reduction or carbon removal to be transferred. In other words, it involves trading these reductions or removals through markets, including the voluntary carbon market, compliance markets such as the Offsetting and Reduction Scheme of International Aviation, known as CORSIA, and the carbon market established under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, including the cooperative approach under Article 6.2 and the Paris Agreement crediting mechanism under Article 6.4. The journal focuses solely on the carbon markets and provides a detailed discussion of the three types. The journal looks at forest carbon markets in two main contexts. First, at the project level, where private sector actors like project developers, land owners, and local communities carry out carbon mitigation activities. These include reducing deforestation and forest degradation, known as REDD+, as well as afforestation, reforestation, revegetation, and improving sustainable forest management. Second, at the jurisdictional level, where countries or subnational governments, such as states or provinces, develop large programs that may include nested projects, called jurisdictional REDD+, known as JRED. All these efforts aim to contribute to two key goals: achieving national determined contributions targets and advancing corporate net zero commitments and claims. In this context, integrity stands out as a key precondition for forest carbon markets. High integrity carbon credits are those that meet strong standards. They are backed by effective governance, are tracked transparently, are independently validated and verified. They also ensure additionality and permanence, use robust quantification methods, and prevent double counting. Importantly, they also deliver sustainable development benefits and safeguards and support the global transition to net zero. Currently, both the Integrity Council for Voluntary Carbon Markets and the Voluntary Carbon Market Integrity Initiative play a key role in providing guidance to strengthen the integrity of carbon markets in general. Additionally, the journal outlines the roles of a wide variety of actors involved in forest carbon markets. These include national and subnational governments, project developers, buyers, sellers, financial intermediaries, climate funds, crediting programs, verification and auditing bodies, rating agencies, integrity initiatives, indigenous peoples, Afro-descendant and local communities, as well as civil society organizations. This journal also explores how voluntary and compliance forest carbon markets, as well as markets under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, can intersect. Connections between these markets are possible as long as a carbon credit is recognized in both. To make this work, a few things are needed. Common standards and methodologies accepted by both markets, registries that can track carbon credit transactions across markets, and institutional and legal arrangements that apply to both. Finally, the journal provides guidance to national and subnational governments on establishing foundational elements necessary to participate in high-integrity forest carbon markets. The following building blocks are recommended for policymakers to consider when developing such markets. The first one is assessing risks and responsibilities. This may include evaluating policy, regulatory, governance, market, social, environmental, technical, and implementation risks associated with forest carbon markets. In second place, it entails establishing policy, regulatory, and governance frameworks. Key components include defining forest reference emission levels and forest reference levels, developing monitoring, reporting, and verification systems, establishing registries and nesting systems, and implementing safeguards approaches and systems. In third place, we refer to clarifying the role of national authorities, which, in the context of Article 6, carbon markets, for example, this may involve establishing authorization and approval processes consistent with the Paris Agreement. Lastly, the journal entails assessing and negotiating forest carbon contracts. These cover emission reduction purchase agreements, known as ERPAs, including key terms such as price, delivery schedule, standards, eligibility periods, and other contractual provisions. To end, I would like to leave you with a few takeaways. High-integrity carbon markets, whether voluntary, compliance-based, or under the Paris Agreement, can open new pathways to mobilize climate finance. These markets are crucial for advancing national determined contributions as well as corporate climate commitments. Forest carbon credits, the highest standards of integrity, they should be transparently tracked, independently verified, demonstrate additionality and permanence, avoid double counting, support sustainable development, respect safeguards, and contribute to global net zero transition. UN-RED serves as a technical partner and convener, helping governments and forest carbon market stakeholders to navigate the opportunities and challenges to accessing high-integrity carbon markets. You are invited to read the journal and navigate the microlearning tools available in this QR.